sand, buck 'em in the mud, drip a cowboy's sweat, bleed a cowboy's blood.
Hi, I'm tie-down roper Tyson Durfee, and you are watching the Pepper Stewart Show.
Yeah, that's what he said. He told you about it. We're here. Just like we are each and every episode, always got something going on for you. You never know what or what's going to happen or what is going on, but that's how it goes. I got a lot of stuff for you today, a lot of good stories. We're going to talk about beef. There's a lot of hot topic beef news in the news, so we're going to tell you about that. I don't know if you know anything about a grumpy cat, but something about a grumpy cat got $710,000. I don't know how that worked, but I'm going to find out because maybe I need a grumpy cat. There's a cougar crossing. I don't think Tex was involved with that, so we'll find out. We got pizzas, we got beef, and we've got something else. We've been talking about different things here and there, and with our Buck and Fitness segment and things going on in that, we've got something for you here. We've got someone here today that's going to talk about some stuff. And right here we do have... What's this? Well, Phillip's here. There's Phillip right there. How's it going, Phillip?
Good, man. How you doing?
Did I say Cupins? Did I say that right? Cupins?
You got it, yeah.
I got it right. Look at that. Hooked on Phonics did work for me, apparently. It did work for me. All right, so you're here today. And you're going to tell us about a product that I stumbled across not too long ago, and I really enjoyed it, and apparently a lot of people do too. So you've got pickle juice?
That's right.
How does that work? You used to put a straw in a pickle and down it, or?
Well, I can tell you and your listeners that no pickles are harmed in making our products, so we're very pickle friendly.
That is good.
Kidding aside, it's actually made from scratch. So we call it pickle juice because we use a proprietary grain of vinegar that actually engages the exact same neural channel that causes muscle cramps. So this stuff will stop a muscle cramp in about 60 seconds flat and prevent it from coming back for up to an hour. Not only that, it's a 100% natural alternative to those common sports drinks, but it doesn't have any sugar, caffeine, or artificial ingredients that you find in some of those other drinks you see on the shelf in the stores.
And it tastes good, and that has. And I know it sounds funny to say, and it tastes good, but a lot of different products out there that do this, do that, but you don't. If it tastes bad, nobody wants to drink it.
Well, that's right. It seems like a lot of these companies are making products to kind of test in the boardroom, right? But when you're out in the field or you're running, you're sweating, you're dehydrated, your body's not craving that sweet stuff. It's telling you what it needs, right? It's craving more of a savory type flavor. So a lot of folks that we get our product to, especially when they're needing it, when they're sweating, when they're dehydrated, when they're cramping, they really find the flavor to be quite pleasant because it's more consistent with what your body's telling it you needs. And
with the pickle juice and the markets, where do you see most of your customers uses for that? Is it mostly in the athletic field, or is it in the working field, or where do you see the market for it?
Well, we started catering to sports teams, mostly football. We got our start with high school, college, and NFL football teams, and then over the years we saw an evolution towards individual endurance athletes, cyclists, ultra distance runners, stuff like that. But we're also seeing a lot of customers. About half our customers are just folks that are working out all day on the ranch, roofers, electricians, just people that are out sweating. And believe it or not, there's a lot of folks who get nighttime leg cramps that are using our product because they'll wake up with a leg cramp and, hopping around for a little while, and their significant other might enjoy the show. That doesn't feel too good.
They get that shaky leg.
That's right. So they're just putting a bottle of this stuff on the nightstand, taking a couple of swigs, and a minute later, the cramp's gone. They're back to sleep.
Huh. What? That's good stuff. Especially for the leg cramps.
Yeah, I mean leg cramps, side stitches, arm pump. We got a lot of folks that are motocross riders, stuff like that. They get that arm pump in the forearm,
Mm-hmm.
and they said it really helps for that a lot too. But really, any application where you need a sports drink, it's applicable for, right? This stuff's got 10 times the amount of electrolytes of common sports drinks, but none of the other stuff that, we should be avoiding: sugar, artificial colors, flavors, stuff like that.
And if how does it come? I mean, how does it come? Is it like a huge bottle? Is it like a 16 ounce, a 20 ounce? How do they come as far as if somebody's looking to buy some, are they looking to get a big, huge bottle, a small bottle? How does it package?
Right. Well, as much as we'd love people to go out and buy 55-gallon drums, that's probably not very practical. We got a 2.5 ounce shot bottle, which is kind of a carry it with you, throw it in your truck, use it as you need it type of thing. We got an 8 ounce bottle, which is kind of more for individual applications, like you throw it in your gym bag. You're taking a couple swigs out of that, or team applications where, when you're playing football, soccer, rugby, whatever, you drink a bottle at halftime, and that's going to take you through the half. And then we got a 16 ounce bottle, and most of that's being used by folks that are using it regularly, getting nighttime leg cramps, or putting it on their nightstand, putting it in their fridge, or what have you.
And speaking of that, is it something that you say on the nightstand, things like that? Does it have to be cold? Does it have to be refrigerated to drink it? Is it better cold? Is it better room temperature?
Oh, that's a personal preference thing, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be cold. A lot of folks prefer it cold, but it's shelf stable. I mean, you don't have to refrigerate it even after it's open. So that's another reason that folks that are working outside or out on the ranch or in the fields all day, they don't have to worry about keeping it cool. You just keep it near you, keep it on you, just like you would with a bottle of water. Okay.
All right. Yeah, because a lot of time, even bottled water, I drink. I drink cold water sometimes, but room temperature water. I can drink the room temperature water out doing stuff better than I can the cold water, because the cold water, you go drinking that and you freeze your insides like you're drinking an ice cube. And so if with something like that doesn't, it can be room temperature, it can be ice cold, either way you can still drink it, and it's still going to taste good.
Right. And interestingly, if you're drinking cold beverages, especially when you're in a high exertion environment, your body has to expend energy to bring that water up to your core body temperature. And I'm not saying you should drink all your drinks at 98 degrees, but you're actually drinking room temperature beverages is a much more efficient way to use those products, especially in your environment where you're trying to maximize your body's natural fuels and efficiency.
Okay. And as far as your involvement with the drink, or were you involved in sports, and that's kind of what got you involved with the pickle juice, or how'd that come about?
Yeah, I've got a bit of an athletic background. I was in the military for a little while, and I played rugby for a long time, and muscle cramping was a thing, particularly as I got older and tried to keep up with the young guys playing rugby. It was, I knew some of the guys were using it. This company was local. Learned more and more about it, and I was fortunate enough to hook up with the company a couple of years ago, right when they were shifting their strategy from being exclusive to team sales and regional distribution to wanting to operate more like a traditional consumer packaged goods company, and that was kind of my background. It was a perfect time and great opportunity, and man, I got to tell you, it's a real cool product and company to work for. I mean, every single bottle sold around the world comes out of our plant here in Mesquite, Texas, and we're real proud of that.
And you say around the world, as far as the customer base, where do you normally ship products to? I mean, how far off do you normally reach your customer base?
Sure, we're pretty well saturated in North America, especially the U.S. We started down in the South in the hot states, and now we're available 8,000 different retail locations throughout the country. But we've got a division in Australia that takes care of our customers and the whole Pan-Pacific region, so Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, Japan, etc. And we just got into South Africa very recently. We've got a team over there doing a great job for us. And now we're starting to get into the European market as well.
Okay. So pretty much all they got to do is go online. To go online and just kind of figure out where to...
Yeah, we'll ship. If we don't have local representation, we'll ship it anywhere in the world. If somebody wants it, they just need to go to picklepower.com and hit our contact list, and we'll tell them where they can find it. We got a pretty strict policy at the office. It says don't make it hard for the customer to give you their money. So if somebody wants it, we'll figure out a way to get it to them.
All right. Well, that makes sense. I mean, get the product to the people. I think you said something that piqued the interest of these folks here. Now they're wanting to know about rugby. So what? I guess football. Everything here is football or Dallas Cowboys football. So I guess they're wondering how rugby falls into Texas.
Well, it's believe it or not, I finished my playing career here in Dallas, and Dallas has the biggest men's rugby club in the country. It's I'm now a coach with the Dallas Rugby Club, also known as the Reds. And they have 140 active players on the men's side. Got a women's team now. Got a youth team going now. Matter of fact, we're playing our crosstown rivals here this weekend. Dallas Harlequins, the other Division I team in town, and it's a massively growing sport in the United States. And believe it or not, the U.S. Eagles, the men's national sevens team, is pretty regularly now one of the top 5 teams in the world. So it's very rapidly growing, and now you're starting to see American football programs using rugby coaches to teach proper tackling techniques to reduce injuries and stuff of that nature. So it's really starting to come around pretty well.
Now, as far as what I know, there's differences in rugby and football, and like as far as the pads and stuff. But is there anything similar to it at all, or is it just apple and oranges?
No, it's pretty similar actually. Football kind of came from rugby, and there are some terms that started or were influenced by rugby. The reason they call it a touchdown is because in rugby you don't score until you touch the ball down in the end zone. The line of scrimmage was evolved from the scrummage, which is a way that we restart. That's the image most people are familiar with rugby. It's like 16 players just piling on top of each other and trying to push each other over. But so there are some similarities. The biggest difference is we can't throw the ball forward. Obviously, we don't wear pads. We have to wrap up in our tackles. You can't hit somebody in the air. You can't be in front of the ball, and you can't block. So and play doesn't stop. So
you just keep going.
You just keep going. When you get tackled, let go of the ball, and somebody else picks it up and throws it to the next guy or runs it. Or
so what? Okay, so if you people are like, what? Rugby? Yeah. So if you're going, so say you got the ball and you're going this way, do they steal it from you? Can they take it, or how does that work?
Yeah,
can they fumble it, or
the ball is pretty much the line of scrimmage, right? So if you're running down the field and I'm on your team and I'm in front of you, I'm offside, so I got to get behind you, which means you also got 15 players trying to take you down, and nobody blocking them from doing so. But yeah, it's pretty much you advance it through kicking or running, and the scoring's similar. So your objective is to get it into what we call the try zone, which is the end zone, and you put the ball down and you get 5 points for that, and then you get to kick a conversion, which is 2, and so the scoring pattern and sequence is very similar to American football, but it's very nuanced in the sense that it requires a different level of fitness, different type of fitness.
Right.
So much higher cardiovascularly demanding. It tends to be a bit safer because we have to wrap up on our tackles, and you see most of the hits coming. Right, you can't hit somebody from behind, you can't hit somebody in the air, so you can't hit anybody above the chest or just clothesline them or shoulder charge them. So it's safety is despite the fact that it looks brutal, it is a very physical game, but it's a lot less chaotic maybe than it looks.
Is there a lot of broken noses?
There's a few.
Okay.
I've had 1 or 2 in my day.
With I'm just thinking with no helmets and you.
Yeah, most of the stuff you see are twists and sprains and cuts and bruises. You see some shoulder injuries, but it's just like anything. It's not like going out there and trying to murder the other guy. Like it might look like on TV.
Yeah, because I've seen it a few times on TV when it, flipping through the channel, I see something on, and I may watch for 4 or 5 minutes, but I have no idea what's going on.
Right. Well, I'm a referee, and I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm just kidding. No, it takes a bit to get used to, because I think a lot of people try to watch it like they're watching a different sport. So we try to compare things, as we do with everything, to something we know. But the basic premise is it's 15 on 15, 40-minute halves, continues play. The ball stops when it's either thrown forward, dropped forward, or there's an infraction like a high tackle, foul play, or a late hit. And then you'll restart with a penalty, which is just kicking the ball. Or if the ball goes out of bounds, you get a line out, which is the thing where they throw the other guy in the air looking thing.
Yeah, I've seen that. I was like, what's going on? What happened to that? Happened to that guy?
Yeah, that's like that's kind of an elaborate throw-in, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks interesting. That's all I can say. I can say that. It does look interesting.
Yeah, well, anybody can come and anybody local, like check out usarugby.org, and all the teams are listed there. They can, in their hometown, just Google rugby and see what's going on. I guarantee you, most of your listeners will be pretty impressed by the amount of rugby that's available in this country. And if anybody's here local in Dallas, just look up the Dallas Rugby Club and come check us out sometime.
Oh, USA Rugby right here. Okay. Now the ball, what is the ball heavier than a regular football?
It's kind of like a flat, more fatter, more oblong type of football. So it's a bit bigger, and it's inflated lighter. So I think there's a quarterback playing in the Super Bowl that likes underinflated balls.
Yeah.
Just kidding. He's pretty good. But all joking aside, it's kind of fatter and a bit bigger and inflated to about 10 psi, which I think is a bit less than a football.
Huh. Okay. All right. Yeah, we're looking at 30 USA Rugby. Okay. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. All right. So we got rugby and. Okay. Well, I would think if you're, I don't know. I guess like you say, it's safer. You're not hitting. You don't have the big elaborate hits and things, but I'm sure you still get the sore muscles and the cramps, everything that goes along with I guess any fast-paced contact sport.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is kind of cool. I mean, we get a lot of guys coming out and girls now too, coming out that once football's over, because football in the States is kind of an interesting thing, right? Once you're not good enough to make that next level team, you're done.
Yeah.
And that might be Pee-wee, junior high, high school, or college, or for very few people, NFL. But in the rugby community, we talk a lot about life after football, and it's a great outlet for adults who kind of love the kind of contact sport, that team environment. So if anybody's out there that is missing that from their glory days, it's a great outlet. And I've got guys on the team that I coach that are anywhere from 22 years old all the way up to 40 that are still playing.
Huh. I'd like to check that out. So Dallas Rugby? Dallas. We're going to have to look into that. Check that out. Okay. All right. Well, while we're still here, you got anything else you want to add or throw in about the juice?
Oh, no, man. I just really appreciate the time, obviously, and want to thank your listeners for taking the time to listen to me talk about it. But really, check out if anybody gets muscle cramps, whether it's outside, at night, in the gym, whatever, check out picklepower.com, learn more about us. Even if you're looking for a healthy alternative to the traditional sports drinks that have a bunch of sugar, caffeine, and artificial ingredients, we're a great option for those folks as well. And all our products are made right here in the USA, and we're quite proud of that.
All right. We'll sure send them that way, let them know about that, and that some good stuff. So what we're going to do now is Angus TV has sent us the current Angus report, and we're going to throw that at you right quick, and then I'll be right back.
About tax code details and how it could affect you. Drought is affecting ranchers from Montana to Arkansas. How you can better prepare for dry conditions. Then we head to Vintage Angus Ranch for a close look at this year's Angus Foundation female. And we share the story behind the National Western Stock Show's long-standing tradition of Western ranching. This is the Angus Report. Hello and welcome to the Angus Report. I'm Bob Cervera. Our top news this week. Republican lawmakers stuck to their timeline, and the GOP tax plan was signed into law before Christmas. Agriculture groups like the American Farm Bureau Federation and the National Cattlemen's Beef Association were champions of the tax reform, saying the tax breaks will benefit farmers and ranchers across the country. But what's exactly in the new tax code? Well, there are still 7 tax brackets, but tax rates are lower. The death tax exemption level was doubled, and Section 179 increased the expensing allowance to $1 million. The section previously allowed farmers and ranchers to expense $500,000 of the cost of equipment, buildings, breeding livestock, and dairy cows. The legislation created a new 20% deduction on pass-through business income, which is likely to lower producers' tax rate. Section 179, the death tax exemption level, and pass-through deductions will all sunset in 2025, which makes it harder for farmers and ranchers to plan for the long term. Still, the tax overhaul is largely considered a win for farmers and ranchers by the agriculture stakeholders across the country. A drought has been steadily making its way across the southeast and southern plains. It stretches up into the northern plains and Montana, and its effects are showing. Forage availability is on the decline, and without precipitation in the near future, the situation will only get worse. The widespread drought forces producers to think about creating a comprehensive drought plan if one isn't already in place. Justin Durner, a rangeland scientist at USDA's Agricultural Research Service, outlines important drought plan components, common mistakes, and why a drought might actually be an opportunity for ranchers.
For a good drought plan, there needs to be several things. One, it needs to be iterative. So it needs to be a continual document that's added to and changed as conditions. It also needs to be well communicated with everybody in the entire operation. And I feel it needs to be some clear decision trigger points in that drought plan that helps with decision making when those drought periods occur. So some common mistakes when looking at the drought plan is, well, we'll deal with it when it occurs. Or we'll make it up on the fly. Or let's do what we did last time. And inevitably, everybody's in the same situation, saying, it's a little dry, all we need is one more rain. We get the one good rain, we'll be fine. But unfortunately, as we've seen many times repeated in history, that rain never comes. So drought can be viewed as an opportunity to make changes in the operation that one normally wouldn't do until that drought occurs. And so rather than viewing drought always as a negative, could it be that instigator? We really needed to make that change in this drought, pushed us to make that change, and now we've benefited from that. So it's really an opportunity event that can be utilized in the decision-making for the entire ranch and the operation.
Durner encourages producers to use tools such as the U.S. Drought Monitor and seasonal predictors. You can take a proactive approach and prepare accordingly when drought conditions are predicted for your region. Ranching has always been a family affair, and one of the first chores ranch kids have is feeding the bottle calves. A recent invention by an Oklahoma family makes it easier for ranch kids to help out and learn the responsibility of caring for their cattle. Ronnie and Mandy Painter raised cattle near Panama, Oklahoma with their daughter Oakley, and when Oakley was first starting to help, she wasn't strong enough to hold the full weight of the bottle with an active calf. So her mother came up with the Noddle, a plastic attachment with side handles that fits over the bottle. The family opened a Kickstarter campaign to raise money for their idea. Their patent is pending, and prototypes have been tested by their own family. The Noddle could arrive on your doorstep as early as April this year. Increasing production efficiency through reproductive management is one way producers can improve their operations' bottom line. We caught up with Rick Funston from the University of Nebraska at the 2017 Angus Convention in Fort Worth. He talks about the importance of early conception in your breeding season and the role that synchronization can play.
Not only reproduction, but time of breeding or conception in a breeding season has a huge impact on the progeny, both the steers and heifers. So we talked about management practices to try to increase that, because that sets up a heifer for life, and it also sets up profitability of a ranch with a fixed set of resources. So my recommendation is to develop her on a moderate level of growth, and develop her in an environment that she's going to be expected to exist on once she's has a calf. I recommend exposing more females for a short period of time and only keeping ones that become pregnant early. So what we've done with Natural Service is turn the bulls in, and then 5 days later give everything a shot of prostaglandin. If there's a high likelihood that females aren't cycling, maybe a wet 2-year-old or something, then I think we need to use CEDAR, a progesterone-containing device.
Celebrating its 11th anniversary this year, the Beef Leaders Institute, or BLI, takes 20 participants on a complete pasture-to-plate beef industry tour.
All right. And we're back. Angus, how about the Angus report? How did you like that? Talking about cows and stuff right there. We got some more cow stuff we're going to be talking about tonight, or I'm going to be talking about tonight. Texas, Cody, he's still dealing with some weathering issues and cold and flu season. And Texas at a convention tonight. He went to go get some information and maybe some footage, I don't know. But he went to go check out the convention in downtown Dallas. They're going to have, I don't know what the convention is called. I just know that there's 3 guys at this convention, and they're all 3 going to be talking about stuff. It sounds like a joke. It really sounds like a joke you heard. But this is what's going on. A Christian, a rabbi, and a Muslim are all speaking at a conference, and that's where Tex is at. He's down there checking that out. It's going on in Dallas. It's free. It's a free event to go to. You go down there and watch it. Check it out. All right. Who wants to do a shot? Anybody want to do a shot with me? Let's see here. Right there. Pickle juice. This is the pickle juice shots. There's some right there. He left some. I probably shouldn't tell him. Or maybe he did on purpose. No. He left me a shot here. Check it out. I guess you just down it like a shot. That's some good stuff. Done. If you hadn't tried this stuff, I'm just telling you guys, if you hadn't tried this stuff, you need to try it. That's why I reached out to him. I had tried it a couple of weeks ago, and then I realized that they were a local company. I was like, you know what? I want to find out more about this because I like this stuff. And that's how you gotta. That's how you gotta do. You gotta, if you just like anything else you see on this show, it's not gonna be anything that we haven't tried or we don't like. Because if we hadn't tried it and we don't like it, we're not gonna show it to you. Because why would we want to waste time showing you something that we don't even know if it's even worth showing you? You know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. How about this? You did hear me tease about a cat. Grumpy Cat. You know who Grumpy Cat is, right? Well, apparently Grumpy Cat has a lawyer. All right. The company that represents the internet famous Grumpy Cat has won a copyright lawsuit against the coffee company. The judge in California ordered this coffee company to pay Grumpy Cat $750,000 in damages, alongside a nominal. Okay, and $1, also $1, alongside $1 nominal damage fee for breaking the terms of the agreement over the use of Grumpy Cat's image. Grumpy Cat's real name, check this out, Tartar Sauce. So Grumpy Cat's real name's Tartar Sauce. Became a viral hit and a popular meme on the internet due to the feline's unhappy-looking face. Cats have appeared in a range of merchandise and has had film and television appearances. Grumpy Cat sued them in 2015, stating the company used Tartar Sauce's image to sell roasted coffee and T-shirts when they only had the rights to sell a line of iced coffee titled Grumpy Cat Grumppuccino. They filed a lawsuit stating they didn't have it, ended up a $150,000 deal that included a failure to promote the Grumppuccino on social media. Oh, okay. Here's what happened. So they counteroffered. All right, Grumpy Cat sued them, so they sued the cat. How do you sue the cat? Come on. So they sued the cat for $150,000, including failure to promote Grumppuccino on social media. However, the jury decided in favor of the cat. It's important It is important precedent when you have something like a meme online. The first verdict ever rendered in favor of a viral meme. Because you know why? Memes have rights too. It also goes along with rodeo photo pictures. I saw on the internet the other day where I see stolen pictures all the time on the internet, but there was a post made where someone had just mentioned, they'd posted a picture. It said, hey, it said stolen from, had the photographer's name and everything. This photo is stolen from blah, blah, blah. And they post and they share themselves in this stolen picture all over the internet. Well, another photographer had made a comment, hey, might be a good idea to buy that picture. And what happened? The person that stole the picture got all upset and mad and started running their mouth at the person that told them, you need to buy that picture. Well, that's what happens. Everybody gets offended. They get caught. And somebody asks a question, they get mad. Well, you stole it. You stole the picture. You ain't mad at the person. You just mad that you got caught and look like a fool. But I don't know. You look silly. If you've got a picture, if you post a picture of yourself on the internet that says stolen across the picture, you yourself are a fool. And you make yourself look like a fool. Because there's nothing good about that picture. Anytime I see one of those, I'm not looking at the picture going, wow, that barrel horse is running fast. Or I want to get just the barrel racers. They're not the only ones. Or that bull. That bull bucking. That bull's bucking good with that big stolen across his forehead. No, you don't post that stuff. You go buy the picture. What is it, $20 for a picture? $20, $30 for a picture? I'd gladly pay for a picture. Back in the old days, I don't have any pictures because I couldn't afford them. There wasn't internet for me to steal them off of. But at the time, at one time, I could have afforded to buy pictures, but there wasn't photographers there to take them. That happened too. But yeah, you just be stealing pictures like that, guys and girls. Just buy the picture. Come on. A lot of times, a photographer will work with you on stuff. If you just ask, you don't just have to steal stuff. Because I've noticed some photographers making comments, things that if they're at a rodeo, okay, if I'm at the rodeo where you're at, and I walk over to your trailer, take your bridle out, you can't be mad at me because it was there. It was just there in the parking lot. There's a lot of stuff in the parking lot. I just didn't think you needed it. Took it. And they get mad. I don't know. I got to stop rambling. I'm rambling too much. Let me get a hold of Burt Rutherford. I need to get that done so we can talk about hot topics and beef and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to ring-a-ding-ding Beef Magazine. If you don't subscribe to Beef Magazine, do it on the interweb net. You can get it in your email box every day. They've got good stuff. All right. We did talk about some stuff today. We did say we were going to talk about the beef, what's going on in the world of beef, what's on everybody's minds right now, what they're thinking about, what they're talking about, what the guys at the local coffee shop are talking about at 5:30 in the morning because they don't have anything else to do. And with that, we've got the man who knows about that stuff. And that right here is Mr. Burt Rutherford. What is going on today, Burt?
Well, Pepper, there's never really a dull day in the cattle business.
No.
And there's always something to talk about at the cafe. And of course, prices and the weather are always on top of the menu. But,
right.
But there's some other things going on if you're kind of following along in the media, both the agricultural media now as well as the popular media, and that's the whole thing over NAFTA, or the North American Free Trade Agreement. And of course, President Trump has made some pretty hardline and definitive statements earlier on, about how he wanted to withdraw from NAFTA, and certainly in the beef business, and in our little sector of the ag economy, there's folks who have opinions and feelings on both sides.
Right.
Of that. My sense is that really, though, the majority of cattle producers recognize the need for U.S. agriculture, and certainly the U.S. beef business to have a place in international trade.
Right.
And we need these trade agreements to give us some idea of where we're at, give us some certainty, so we can go forward. So, I think there's a negotiation going on now, or just fixing to start, in Montreal over NAFTA, and it appears that President Trump has softened quite a bit. Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue was quoted earlier this week in the ag press as saying, that he thinks that during the campaign, Trump honestly believed that NAFTA was not a good deal for the United States. Now that he's been president for a year, and now we've been through these negotiations, and he's getting a lot of feedback, not just from the ag sector, but from many other sectors of the economy,
Right.
About how much NAFTA has been a positive influence in the U.S. economy. He's beginning to change his mind a little bit. So, that gives the folks in the beef business who think that those kinds of trade deals are a good thing. That gives them a little hope that maybe we can keep NAFTA intact and hopefully maybe even make it a little better.
Yeah. And that's kind of what they need. And then going back to the campaign thing, I guess a lot of people don't realize that when you're going into a campaign, or you're going in, especially if you're going in to be the president of the United States, things are, you see things from the outside, but when you get in there and see what's going on, sometimes you got to change some things, sometimes you got to rethink some things, but all in all, you're making it better. You're going to make it better for the people.
Yeah. And there is no doubt that President Trump is a pretty darn good. He can put a deal together. He can negotiate a deal.
Yeah.
There's no doubt at all about that. But you have some different concerns, different angles, different pressures when you're negotiating a deal as a private businessman, as opposed to when you're negotiating a deal as the representative of the largest economy in the world, and I think President Trump realizes that now.
Right. So, that worked. I saw something. I think I got it from Amanda that the activists are at it again. And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
I think I was reading over a story today, and then I went, like I always do. If I see a story about something, I'll go look it up. I want to double check, fact check, and make sure what I'm talking about before, I talk about it. And I read that thing that came out where I believe it was Chris Pratt has got his own farm. He bought a farm. He raises his own food. And he had, like everybody else, you're doing stuff around your house. You're proud of what you do. And he had posted some pictures of some of his animals online, and people went nuts. There was 52,000 comments on one of those pictures, and I was going through. Now there was quite a few people that understood, and it was for like, hey, this guy, this is what he's doing. He's doing something, leave him alone. Then you had the people there was one person that commented, and this sticks in my mind because one of the commenters said that he should slaughter his son like a goat. And I'm like, really? Where are these people coming? Where are you coming from? Where in your right mind would anybody, anywhere, think to tell that to someone? I don't understand. I don't understand the way of thinking.
Yeah, and Amanda Radke, who does our Monday or does our early morning Beef Daily newsletter, when she has essentially taken on the vegan activists, they've made the same kind of comments to her. And that's really kind of disturbing. I don't understand how somebody can be filled with that much hate.
I don't get it.
Don't. Yeah, but boy, these vegan activists are hateful people, and they are not shy about proving it. But and the reason that Amanda brought that up, and I will have to admit my age and ignorance. I didn't even know who Chris Pratt is, but it doesn't matter at all. I mean, he's apparently one of the Hollywood types, and so for him to recognize the circle of life, for him to understand that when he slaughtered that lamb and said, this is going to feed, this will feed us, this will feed our friends.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about how respectfully that lamb was harvested, and all this sort of stuff. You read that and you say, here's somebody who gets it,
right?
And more importantly, I seriously doubt that he grew up in a rural environment. He grew up on a farm or a ranch, But now that he is immersed, or at least involved, in the world that we're familiar with,
right?
He gets it, and that's encouraging. That really is. That's great.
Yeah, and it just said, and I was having a discussion with a person today. Matter of fact, that is kind of not necessarily a vegan, maybe a vegetarian person, and talking about this story. And what I said was, a lot of times, whether you're talking about a cultural issue, or a lifestyle choice issue, or the beef issue, a lot of times these people that are so mad and so angry, and is because it's something they don't understand. If they don't understand it, or they don't like it, they just hate it. Whether it's your lifestyle you live, whether it's what you eat, whether it's where you go, what you drive, the clothes you wear, they don't understand it, so they don't like it and they hate it. And that's why I always tell people all the time when I'm trying to have a discussion with somebody, and I run into this a lot of time in the rodeo world, when you're trying to have a discussion with somebody about rodeo, that tells you how the animals are mistreated, and they're putting the ropes on the bull's testicles and stuff like that, and you have to explain to people. And I tell them, I don't mind having an intelligent conversation with someone, but the deal is, if you're going to be against something, you're going to protest something, that's fine. You can do, if you want to be that way, you can do it. But at least know enough about the issue from both sides to where you can have an intelligent conversation. Because if you start talking to me or talking to someone, and you start throwing off these crazy ideas and thoughts that are known to be false and not true or make any sense, then your argument's invalid. Because nobody's going to take you serious, because you can't have a serious, intelligent conversation.
Right. And I agree. And I even have to tell myself that from time to time. Because it's awful easy, I think, from us, from our perspective, whether it be rodeo, whether it be livestock production, farming, anything. It just seems like we're constantly getting beat up by somebody.
Yeah.
And the natural reaction to that, I think, is to get defensive, but maybe sometimes that's not the best way to approach it. And like I said, I have to keep telling myself that as well.
Right.
I can disagree with you, but try to have enough of an open mind to listen to your side of the story. I don't have to agree with it.
Right.
But if I do, maybe that helps me understand a little bit more about how to talk to somebody who's in the middle.
Right, and that's the thing. You don't have to necessarily agree with what they're doing, but just to understand it, so that you have you have an idea of where they're coming from and what they're talking about. And I think that's what happens a lot of times when these issues come up, is they're so against it and they are so fired up at you that it doesn't matter what you say because they're not listening. They don't want to listen.
Right.
They're just coming at you.
You know,
and then if you come right back at them with the same force, then nobody's listening to anybody.
Right. You're like a couple of bulls, you know,
yeah,
with their head down, you know, seeing who can push the other one back. And you know, but you know, when you get those I don't know what word to use, really angry vegan activists, you know, if you're going to publicly go online or send an email to whether it be Chris Pratt or you know, the young lady who does the young mother who does our Beef Daily newsletter,
right,
and just flat come out and say, you know, you ought to slaughter your kid the way you all slaughter cattle.
yeah.
You know, you're not talking to that person is really not probably going to be very
Right.
beneficial.
Right, and there's some there's some that you can kind of get through to a little bit and kind of understand things, but like you say, there's some that is not talking's not going to do any good. They're not going to listen to you.
Yeah, and that's you know, I think those people are very, very much the minority, but boy, they're scary.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They really are.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Burt, man, we're running up on it, so I'm gonna let you get back to what you're doing.
Well, Pepper, I appreciate it. I'm just sitting here at my desk getting ready. We're heading out to Phoenix to the Cattle Industry Convention, and
yes,
have lots of opportunity there to talk to folks and kind of get a feel for the pulse of what they're thinking.
I'm gonna need to get Marquis to connect up with you out there. Our social media manager, Marquis Hagerman, is an ambassador for that deal, and she will be there.
Oh, okay.
So I need to see if y'all can run to each other. Maybe we can get some good information or something.
Yeah, by all means, you've got my cell phone, so by all means, give that to her and have her send me a text.
I will do it. I'll get that done. Well, I appreciate it, Burt, man, and we'll catch up with you in another week or so and see what's the beef.
Pepper, I appreciate the opportunity and thanks for letting me ramble.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. How about that? What's the beef? That's our beef segment with Beef Magazine called What the Beef. Because everybody's got beef. If y'all didn't see what we were talking about, go look. Because, man, I was reading that stuff today and I was like, wow, people are crazy. Now, after reading that, the comments and things that we're talking about, those people are saying, now I get it. Now, after reading the stuff people were saying, makes me understand this right here. Now I have figured out why this is happening right here. What is that? Are you going to do laundry or are you going to dinner? What do you think that is? Huh? What do you think it is? Well, here's what's going on. Pizzeria. A New York pizzeria is offering up a non-toxic alternative to the Tide Pod Challenge, with the mini pizzas created to resemble the laundry detergent pods. Vinny's Pizzeria announced on Twitter that the customers were looking for an edible alternative to laundry detergent. Now, did you ever in your million years, or however many years you are born from, that you would ever say in your lifetime, yeah, I'm looking for a healthy alternative to laundry soap because I've been eating laundry soap. It's making me sick. So I'd like an alternative to wean myself off of laundry soap. What is the deal? I don't understand. But all right, and later on he says, I'm not trying to make people eat soap. I'm trying to make people not eat soap. I think it's a stupid thing, and that there's even news reports telling people not to eat soap. We have one on our Facebook. On the Facebook page, there's one on there that tells the kids the real Tide Pod challenge is this. You take that Tide Pod, you drop it in the washing machine, you put your clothes in there, you turn it on, and then magic happens. Your clothes get washed. That right there is magic, kids. That's what happens. So that's the challenge you need to be worried about. Not eating soap. Who thought that was a good idea? You know, they had the ice bucket challenge. There was an ice bucket challenge that went on for a while. Then you had some idiots doing the boiling water challenge. They all got burnt. Then you had the set yourself on fire challenge where they put alcohol on them and set themselves on fire. That didn't work. There's another one that I'm thinking I can't think of that was on. Another one of those internet challenges like that. And what happens is, in today's time, me and the wife was talking about this the other day. Today, in this times we live in right now, people do not have common sense. Common sense is not common anymore. There's no such thing as common sense. Nobody has it because all these people today are so stuck on technology that they didn't grow up in the times we grew up in where you had hidden. I mean, they had these, but we had them before technology, where you had hidden camera TV shows, where you had the prank shows, and you know. So in our times, we realized things that were when we saw something that was fake, we looked and we knew it was fake. Okay. And some of you watching know what I'm talking about. Kids today are like, I don't know. I've had a phone in my hand since I was a baby. Everything I see on there is true. That's why we have so much of that stupid word. I hate that word, fake news. That's the dumbest word ever, fake news. But that's why it's so popular, because everybody believes what they see on the internet, and they don't fact check it like they're supposed to. When you see a story, when your friend shares a story, you fact check that story, see if it's true, 3 or 4 different sources before you hit share on Facebook and share it to the rest of your friends. Because every time somebody sends me, and I do this, if you send me a message or tag me or share me in some stupid internet Facebook meme thing that's going on, not meme, but but there's that one about the thoroughbreds. So-and-so's giving away 52 free thoroughbreds. Come get them before they get slaughtered. You know, that stupid thing. There's another one about Jaden something is stealing everybody's identity. Don't blah. And if you send me one of those, and there's another one somebody floats around too, about soldiers getting attacked. This helicopter got shot down. All these Navy SEALs are dead. And blah 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 blah. That story is only half truth, and it happened a long time ago. And people keep redoing that. And when I see somebody do that, if you're on a list that I have or a page or something, and I see you do that, you're out. You're deleted. I'm tired of seeing idiots every day. And if you're one of them that does it, you know why you're not there anymore. Or if you are there and you do it, that's why you won't be there, because I'm tired of seeing idiots. There's a movie that came out a long time ago called Idiocracy. I need to watch that again, because if memory serves me correct, that movie is what's going on right now. That everybody's grown up with technology and everything's technology, so nobody can think for themselves anymore because they got a phone or one of them stupid things in your house that you talk to and tells you stuff. I don't need one of those Alexa or whatever it is. Alexa, I want a pizza. Or Alexa, what does a donkey look like? Or Alexa, I don't need some little device in my house to tell me stuff. I don't need to know something. I just ask my wife. She knows it all. So I can just ask her, and she'll tell me. Why do I need that thing? I'm glad she don't watch the show. All right, what else we got? I got a couple more stories, and I've got to shut it down. This right here never happens to me. Never. I don't know. I see this stuff in the news all the time, but it never happens to me. I don't understand why not, because this would be... it'd be uplifting for some folks, help some folks out. But this is what happened. Look what's going on here. On a stretch of highway in Illinois, it was closed for about an hour while crews worked to clear a large amount of cash from the roadway. Illinois State Police said the cash was being transported in a black Ford. Wow. You like that coughing in your ear? All right. And the black passenger vehicle. It's a car. I saw the picture. Why don't they just say that? The company operates a gambling video machine place. Well, that spilled out into Interstate 74 in Champaign County, about 2 miles west of Monmouth. A result about 11:30 in the morning. The trooper said the driver transporting the cash lost control of his vehicle, struck the guardrail, and crashed into a Chevy Silverado, pulling the flatbed, sending both vehicles into the median. The crash covered the roadway, and $5, $10, and $20 bills, y'all. Closed for an hour and a half while they picked it up. Since it was illegal money right there. It's an illegal gambling machine. So, if it's illegal gambling machine, it should be free. I missed. It should be up for grabs, right? Since it's illegal. I've been hearing that word a lot. Illegal. Or legalistic. I hear legalistic a lot. I realized I realized that too. That these guys were having a discussion. These guys are having a discussion about stuff, and this guy's a pastor, and anytime he gets to a point when they're having a theological discussion, they get to a point that he doesn't have a comeback or doesn't know what to say, he just says, that's East Texas legalistic religion. I'm like, what? You got to think something else. All right, but that was fine. I got some more stuff too. I don't know what else I want to tell you. Oh, I got one more story. The dash. I'm not gonna do the dash cam. In Canada, there was the cops had a guy pulled over and a cougar walked in front of his car. A cougar, the animal. Well, that's an animal too. Not the four. Okay, a four-legged cougar. Let's get that straight. A four-legged cougar went across the dash cam of that cop. I guess they saw it later when they were looking back at the video. This right here I thought was interesting. So I'm going to close out the show with this story right here because everybody's probably fixing to go eat dinner. So this is a perfect story for dinner time right here. This is your dinner time story. Can you tell what that is? Can you tell what that is? I'm going to show it bigger. I want to show it bigger to you before I tell you what it is. See that? What is that? Does anybody know what that is right there? Well, I'm going to tell you. A California doctor said a 5.5-foot tapeworm was found dangling from a man's rear end from a bathroom trip that had been growing inside him for months. What? How does that even happen? How does that happen right there? He told the man he'd been expelling some bloody fluids when he felt something dangling from his you know what. He thinks it's very odd, and he doesn't get it until he pulls it out, and then it wiggles, and he drops it. He's like, oh, it's a worm. You know what? If somebody's pulling a I heard something. I thought it was a worm coming after me. A 5.5-foot worm? I think I would have passed smooth out. There's no way. But I am hoping I just ruined everyone's dinner because I haven't got to eat dinner yet. So with that, that's all I really got. That's all I really got this episode. All I can say is stay tuned to what is going on. Keep your eyes on pepperstewart.com. There's some things in the works. Some things are changing. Will be changing over time. There's some stuff going on. But as always, you'll be able to find the Pepper Stewart Show on pepperstewart.com. So stay tuned to that for now to see what's going on. Also, the Facebook page, social media pages, keep up with that because we got a lot of stuff going on all the time on all our social media sites. So be sure you follow those and invite your friends to follow them too. So with that, it is time to get out of here. Highways, byways of Texas. I am gone. I will catch you folks on the next one.